Hi, my name is Stephan. I'm systems engineer at VMware, and today I want to show you how you can accelerate your cloud journey with HCX and VRNI. So the presentation will show you how you can easily migrate virtual machines and apps from on-premise to the cloud and back. So let's go in. So this is the disclaimer. And now we jump into the agenda. So first we do a short introduction of HCX and then VRNI. Then we will see how HCX and VRNI works. We see the VRNI application discovery, and then we see the bulk migration function with mobility groups in HCX. So what is HCX and how it works? So HCX is a mobility migration tool which moves VM from on-premise to the cloud and back and forward. Why we have this? The main challenges on application migration is you have incompatible stacks. So you have hypervisor 1 on one side and hypervisor 2, another hypervisor in the other data center. So you cannot just move virtual machines or applications from A to B. Or you have different networking stacks and different networks on both sides. So connectivity is always an issue and security too. And for sure, you are not able to determine sometimes the application dependency. So is there a database or a part of the application like web servers are missing? So you need to make sure that all the components of an application, all the virtual machines that belongs to a specific application moved at the same time over. So, and if this not works, then you have business interruptions, you have connectivity problems, and so on. To overcome these problems with HCX, you can just use HCX to move one application at one time completely from one data center to another. And especially if it comes to mass migration, HCX is key because you can move 200 VMs at the same time if you want. And especially if you have older stacks like vSphere 6.0 or KVM or Hyper-V hypervisors, then you can move these VMs over to a modern SDDC or VCF or VMware Cloud on a hyperscaler if you want. So, and what is VRNI? VRNI is a network visibility and troubleshooting tool. So you can collect all these data from the different sources, from SD-WAN, from physical network, physical switches, from virtual environments like vSphere, from the E6i hosts and container and multi-cloud environments. And you see all their NetFlow and IP fixed data. And all these functions and all these informations will be collected in VRNI. And we see the communication relationships between the virtual machines. So we see, oh, virtual machine 1 is communicate to virtual machine B. And with all these information, we know exactly how the apps are configured. So on how this interaction works. So we have VRNI on one side. So VRNI discovered the communication relationships between the VMs. And when we discovered that, we can group these VMs together and say, hey, this is the application 1. These VMs belongs to this app. And we have the web layer, we have the database layer, and we have an application layer in it. Then we export these data, these grouping to HCX. And when we have this grouping in HCX in place, then we can just say, okay, with this group, we can move the group completely over. So all VM at the same time will be moved over. So how this works? We go in VRNI. We start the application discovery. When we started the application discovery, we will let them go for a while, and then we will receive a list of applications that we have in our data center. Then we will list these applications. We go in this one application that we have. For example, here our application day contains 5 VMs. This 5 VMs contains, for example, here the application layer 2 VMs, the database is 1 VM, and the web VMs are 2 virtual machines. And then if we have these if we have discovered this group and grouped these together, we can export this group via script to HCX. And we see here now the HCX migration tab. And if we look here in, we can say, okay, we have this group here of this group of the application. So this is the example application. And if we expand this, we see our 5 VMs. And these 5 VMs for sure are the web VMs, 2 web VMs, 1 database VM, and 1 application. So classical 3-tier app, web layer, application layer, database layer. So, and we can say not only just move the 1 VMs, so we can say we want to move all VMs over at the same time. So we have these 5 VMs in the group. We can start the migration and we can wait until all the synchronization to the other data center is over. And then we make the switch over. So if the migration is complete, we have the switch over, and then we have the switch over. So when we start the application on the second data center and we power it off on the first data center, this will happen in seconds. And then we have completed the migration. All the VMs will be switched over at the same time. So we have no interruption in an ideal world. And then we can just use the application in the new data center. This is the power of HCX. We can coordinate these vMotions live, and then we can use the VMs from the other data center. So migration is complete, like you see. And for sure, also bigger VMs can be migrated as well. And for sure, if the VMs or if the application contains 10 or 20 VMs, no problem. HCX can handle that. So where you can find this, so for sure, we realize Network Insight and HCX you can get from VMware, and this integration can work with the Flink. You can find the Flink via the link and also the source in GitHub. And yeah, that was it. So thank you. My name was Stephan Wolf, and thank you for your attending to this session. I hope we see us soon. Thank you and bye-bye.